Donald Trump choosing to be in a courtroom instead of out on the campaign trail. The former president attending an appeals hearing over whether he has presidential immunity. If so, it would prevent him from facing charges related to his efforts to overturn the 2020 election. After the hearing, the president took his case before the cameras.
As a president, you have to have immunity. Very simple. And if you don't, as an example, if this case were lost on immunity, and I did nothing wrong, absolutely nothing wrong. I'm working for the country. And I worked on very hard on voter fraud because we have to have free elections.
Okay, so that was Donald Trump. May, former Trump White House attorney, Scott Bolden, resident counsel on the show. Can I call you that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let May go first.
So I'll let May go first. But this was part of the argument that was talked about in court and really got talked about afterwards. Watch.
Could a president who ordered SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political rival who was not impeached, would he be subject to criminal prosecution?
If he were impeached and convicted first, my answer is qualified yes. There's a political process that would have to occur under the structure of our Constitution, which would require impeachment and conviction by the Senate.
All right, so that was the hypothetical that was thrown out in court today, May.
So I think, I would go ahead and give that one. Sure. If you're going to go assassinate someone, then go ahead and criminally convict them. But I think the hypo is kind of stupid in the sense that if you're actually telling SEAL Team 6 to go assassinate someone, you're going to get impeached. So you almost don't even need to, I'm not going to give credit. I'm not going to give credit to that hypo. The real point, though, is for the entirety of our nation's history, the entirety, there has never once been a criminal prosecution for an official act. Okay, you can debate whether his speech was an official act or not, but I think that Jack Smith is basically saying that they're not going to make that argument. That argument hasn't been made yet. So that really is the point here, and SEAL Team 6 is entirely besides the point.
It's not even debatable because this could never be an official act because the president has zero role under the Constitution in the transfer of power and the certification of these delegates and these votes from the states. No role whatsoever. Secondly, the argument, we never had a president like Donald Trump, but the argument that somehow he's immune from criminal conduct where he only has immunity for acts under the presidential rubric of leadership, there was none here. And we've never had a president who incited an insurrection like that. You don't have to be convicted of it. And that's why this argument won't hunt, and they're going to lose there. And I predict they're going to lose at the U.S. Supreme Court, too, because the federal court in Georgia and the federal district court here has ruled against them already, saying that you are not a king. You have no immunity for any act because no one man, no one person is above the law. Okay. Period. Drop the mic, kaput.
I want to get to Mick, but go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not scandalized, I guess, by President Trump's speech being like, we must prosecute or else, it's the end of the world. But let's just say it is. Okay.
I'm talking about the speech on January 6th.
The speech on January 6th.
You're not scandalized by that?
I am not scandalized by that. I'm sorry.
Wow.
So it was a speech. It's protected by the First Amendment. And
it caused an insurrection on January 6th where people died.
We live in a society that protects free speech, period, full stop.
Not that speech.
I'm sorry that speech offends you, but in America, the reason that the First Amendment exists is to protect the speech that offends you.
No. Hate speech offends me. Speech that incites an insurrection and a riot where 7 police officers died, that's offensive.
Mick, come on in.
I'll
jump on in here, and then I want to end by asking you if you thought it was smart politically for him to be here today and not in Iowa.
Yeah, the answer to that question is yes. We can get that one out of the way, absolutely. Anytime he can get on TV, it's a good thing for him. And it is. We're talking about him now instead of Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis. It's a playbook. He's been doing it very, very well for the last 6 months. So that's an easy question. The issue on it's not possible that the president is completely immune from everything. Both May and Scott know about the concept of something that's ultra-virus, outside of your scope. And if this is something that is outside the scope of his work as president, then there's no way he can be immune from it. Mark Meadows, I think, was making the same argument when they said, he said this was an official act. And they said the chief of staff has zero to do with getting a president elected. That is not part of your official duty, so there's no way you could be protected. There's no way a president is completely immune from everything. May's right. The example of SEAL Team 6 is an absurd extremity, but I think Trump probably loses this one under the argument that the speech was outside of his official duties.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.